Travelling in early summer in their umiaks, they necessarily hug the coast and utilize the narrow leads that exist between the pack ice and the glacier. The literal meaning of the name is the thing that comes up, as this peculiar glacier often calves by huge pieces breaking off underwater, which come to the top and shoot like breaching whales into the air. Instant destruction is the penalty for misjudgment, or mere bad luck. I remember an old hunter saying, "Do not speak, do not eat, until Puisortok is past." Northern Lights, the official account of the British Arctic Air Route Expedition 1930-31, by Frederick Spencer Chapman. Chapter 2. The carving of the Midgard Glacier was a tiny stitch in a larger pattern. While the male corpse it disgorged was already in Tromsø and under autopsy, all around the Arctic Circle scientists were recording carving events of unprecedented magnitude. This apparently synchronized new behavior of the ice was strongly active for about 70 hours in Greenland, Nunavut, Arctic Canada, Alaska, and Russia, before stopping as abruptly as it started. 27 degrees south in London, the Saharan dust storm that had blown over Europe for the last 3 days also ceased, leaving a fine gritty red film on cars smart and shabby, on the windowsills of palaces and high-rises, and added respiratory patients to overcrowded A&E departments and private surgeries alike. Entrepreneurial Londoners sold white paper masks by tube stations, and only the reckless still went running. Age 50, but looking younger, and mindful of what happened to his mental state without hard exercise, Sean Cawson was one of them. Although his knees now protested and his thoughts clawed at him for the first 2 or 3 miles, afterwards he felt good, and that was rare. He left Martine sleeping, or pretending to, and slipped out of the apartment. He knew last night's conversation was only on pause. He would have to deal with it before long. He jogged past the neighbour's door, smelling coffee and hearing their new baby crying. His was almost grown up, and hated him. At the beginning, Martine had said she wasn't interested in family life, and he'd been relieved. One failure was enough. Now she'd changed her mind, and he felt slightly betrayed. He pulled the heavy black door shut and stood for a moment on the empty street while he chose his running music. It was early but muggy. The sky was grey and no birds flew. The white porch pillars of the houses were shaded with the ochre Saharan dust, which also grouted the black and white tiles underfoot, and gave an autumnal cast to the plane trees of the communal garden. As he chose a random mix and set off to the park, London looked and felt wrong. The music matched it, harsh declamatory rap in African-inflected French that fitted the dislocated feel of the city. His feet caught the hard pounding rhythm, and as he entered the park by the Kensington Palace gate he felt fierce and strong. The grass was browned with dust as if it had been passed under some great grill, and he left a trail rising behind him. If there was a good gym he might have used it, but the kind of place he had in mind, that stank of effort and crackled with energy, those places belonged to a distant world. The water of the Serpentine was a dull grey mirror to the June sky. Sean's lungs and muscles were burning, but his will was breaking through his resistance. As if in reward, there ahead of him was one of his favourite sights, one of the privileges of early risers in certain parts of London, a troop of army horses being exercised. Sometimes he'd pause to watch them cantering on the sand track that ran alongside Park Lane, a powerful river of satiny chestnut and bay muscle. The heavy rhythmic vibration of their hooves into the earth had risen through his feet into his body, and connected him to some elusive feeling he could not name. But today he knew it. That lost feeling of wildness inside him, like a wolf hunting. It was a crazy thought, and the horses would easily outstrip him, but he wanted to run alongside them. He pushed himself harder, the punching syllables of the French rap sinking with his muscles. He could smell the fragrance of the animals as he cut across the grass. He was straining with the